Hi, this is my TOK essay breakdown series for May 2024. In these videos, I'll be unpacking the key terms and ideas from the title, as well as looking at the question through the lens of two areas of knowledge. For a much more detailed analysis, examples, and ideas for how to approach this question using the different AOKs and other TOK concepts, you can check out the full written guide link in the description. Okay, so in this video, we'll be looking at title 3, which is Nothing is more exciting than fresh ideas, so why are areas of knowledge often so slow to adopt them? And you have to talk about the human sciences and one other area of knowledge for this question. Okay, beginning with some key terms, we can first of all pick out the word exciting, in other words, something which causes great interest or enthusiasm. And specifically thinking about what makes an idea exciting, we can say that perhaps it offers the potential for significant progress in an AOK, or maybe a particular idea constitutes a particularly groundbreaking or surprising insight. You might want to also consider whether this excitement is necessarily universal or whether it varies based on individual or cultural perspectives. Another key term to pick out would be fresh ideas. So, new, innovative, or previously unconsidered thoughts, concepts, methods, etc. And also the word adopt, in other words, to accept, utilize, or start practicing the ideas, concepts, or methods in question. Some points I would consider when answering this question. First of all, think about the rigorous processes required to test and validate new concepts before they're adopted and how these might vary across different AOKs. Also, think about the potential risks associated with adopting new ideas too quickly without thorough scrutiny. These risks might be ethical or epistemic, and you can discuss the impact of established institutions on the process of adopting new ideas, how their norms might mean they are very resistant to change, at least rapid change. Okay, moving into the AOKs now, we'll begin with the human sciences, given that it is the compulsory one here. And let's start with an introduction and say that the range of challenges associated with studying human behavior and societal dynamics mean that disciplines within this AOK often resist or at least delay the adoption of innovative or novel ideas. For the claim, we might contend that a major factor behind this cautious approach is the difficulty with replicating studies into human behavior. So here we're talking about the knowledge framework of methods and tools. Because the diversity of human emotions, perspectives, behaviors can result in inconsistent research outcomes across different studies. An example which particularly highlights this is the replication crisis in psychology during the early 2010s. Basically, this was highlighted by the open science collaboration, which tried to replicate 100 published psychological studies and found that in many cases they couldn't do so consistently. For the counterclaim, however, we can say that it's often the potential ethical ramifications of an idea that prompts this kind of hesitancy to adopt them. And given that ideas from various disciplines in the human sciences have the potential to have a massive impact on both individuals and societies, ethical outcomes are a particularly crucial consideration in this area of knowledge. We can use a real life example from criminology to illustrate this point, and specifically an article from the British Journal of Criminology in which Orion and colleagues argued for a cautious approach to adopting crime control measures as they can significantly affect specific communities. And moreover, he advocates for consulting with experts in ethics, human rights, public relations, as well as members of the affected communities themselves in scrutinizing any measures before they are implemented. Bring these ideas together in a mini conclusion. we might say that issues pertaining to replicability and ethics can both considerably slow down the adoption of new ideas in this AOK. Right. For the second AOK, we'll look at the arts. Again, beginning with a quick intro, we can say that both the creation and interpretation of art is often deeply rooted in established artistic conventions. As such, experimental works or more unconventional interpretations of art may initially face skepticism. For the claim, we might contend that historically the arts have in certain cases been slow to adopt new ideas due to this AOK's deep reliance on established artistic conventions, and this is reflected by instances of skepticism towards new art movements. So a classic example would be the initial resistance faced by the Impressionist movement in the 19th century, and critics would deride works by Impressionist artists as being either unfinished or amateurish. For the counterclaim, we might, however, contend that in more recent times, it's much less the case of reverence for established artistic conventions being what slows down the adoption of new ideas. What's more important is the role of contemporary societal beliefs and norms. An example we can use to illustrate this is Bret Easton Ellis's infamous 1991 novel, American Psycho, and specifically the reception to this work, as it was met with a significant degree of outrage when it was first published, primarily due to its very graphic content. Nonetheless, over years, the book and also its film adaptation have gained a massive following, and a lot more critics now appreciate it for its fairly groundbreaking critique of consumerist culture. And you can say that this reevaluation is at least partly down to a change in how fictional violence is viewed in society. Once again, bringing these ideas together in a mini conclusion, we might say there is a greater openness to fresh ideas in the arts compared to the past, but contemporary societal norms can still dramatically affect the speed at which they're adopted. Okay, so those are some potential AOKs and lines of inquiry you can follow when answering this question. For essay guides and personal feedback, feel free to check out my website, toklifeline.com, and many thanks for watching.